in council planning and things like that, and they're called the Super Team. And we go around and we donate money in secret. So this is another spin-off story series from this main story, where we just go around in secret donating money to people that need it. So I'll just give you one quick story out of that. Like, we're in a cafe and we're drinking coffee, and there's this little box there on the counter because the lady's daughter needs an operation on kidneys, and she needs to raise, I don't know, $75,000 for this unique special operation. So basically, I walk up and I just hand her a check for $100,000, and said, once the operation's done, then you and her are going to fly to Disneyland and have fun. And so I do things like that. Those are the cool stories that come out of this core story. So having said that, so one of the accountants goes to close this 10-cent bank account, and the account stays open, and the next day it's got 20 cents in it. And so we keep closing it down till it's got about $100, and then we just give the $100 away. And next day we've got $1,000, and we give the $1,000 away, and we've got 10,000, and on it goes until we get about $1 million. And so the accountant looks at the name of the person that opened the account on behalf of Sir Cecil, and it's this lady's grandmother, the young girl who's now a grandmother. And we go to the shop, and the granddaughter's there running the shop, and we ask, blah, blah, blah. And she says, well, that's not me. I've got the same name as my grandmother, but it was my grandmother that opened the account. So I said, well, can we go talk to her, please? Because, we need to sort this out. What's going on here? And so we go up to her bedroom. She's very, very sick. And we ask, what is this about? And she tells the whole story about what happened. And I apologize about my grandfather's attitude and saying he's a real dick. It's too personal. Yeah. Okay, so, sorry. So she explains, this is what the curse, it's not a curse for me, but it was a curse for my grandfather, because he was such a bloody miser, and he wouldn't give away 2 cents to a dying elephant. Whatever. Yeah. So, I used this giveaway bank account to make repairs to the castle. And so I give $2 million to this guy, and I get $20 million back, because it's like a donation. You hire these 20 staff to fix the castle up. I'll give you $2 million, as just as a test as well, to see how well this works, and I get $20 million back. So they do all these repairs on the castle. It takes about a year, and I get this idea, because we're talking about a block of land that's the size of a city, a small city, like the size of Helensville or Te or something like that. So basically, for a bit of fun, I said, well, I want castle walls surrounding my castle, and I want the whole works. I want like turrets, watchtowers, and like these replica cannons built and all this. So I find all these people that do that kind of work, and I hire them, and I pay them that, and I get the driveway resealed. I get the driveway like completely, redone from scratch, not just resealed, but dug up and redone again. And so my plan is that there's a little 5-acre section on the left just as the gate comes in. Now I've got, for a bit of fun, the staff, they dress up as, some of the staff, they dress up as soldiers, you know, and walk back and forth on their walls, and that's their job, and you know, they get paid to do that. So what we got was we're building up a little tourist attraction thing where we've got this 5 acres of block land where I build some toilets and kitchen and that, and people can come in the camper vans and they go through the main gate, which is run by 2 security guards dressed up as medieval soldiers, which is kind of cool. You know, this is my fantasy world coming out now. And so that they can watch the soldiers march back on the wall, back and forth on the wall. Of course, this whole thing takes 2 or 3 years to build, get it up and running off the ground. There's a swimming pool there and a games room for the campers and all that. And when I created the story, they could go fox hunting, but nowadays I don't like the concept of fox hunting at all, so I've scrapped that completely out of it. I'd rather them just go on not a flying fox, there's a new name for it, a zip line. So there's where the fox hunting was, say on my grandfather's day, there's now a zip line where they can just go up and cross. And so got that up and running. I'm thinking there needs to be something more. There's something missing. So I built a wharf out on the ocean side and I buy this ferry. By the way, there's a little side story there that, well, don't have to go into deeply, but it seems that the grandfather had a secret helicopter and a secret jet plane, a secret yacht that he never told anyone he owned, blah, 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 blah. So I end up inheriting all those things. So I got a helicopter on the roof, helicopter landing pad on the roof of the castle. So anyway, I built this wharf and people can catch the ferry and just do tours of Lake Taupo, go see all the attractions and that, and go to Mount Ruapehu from there. There's a track and all this that I organise, and guided tours and all this sort of thing. So I get that all off the ground. But I'm thinking there's something missing. It's such a long walk from the gate, where the tourists are, to the ocean. It's about 10 miles. And so I think, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to build a steam loco. And I'm going to get a track running right round the edge of the whole property. And there's another side story to bring in here about the horses, because they're going to be spooked by the locomotive. So there's an old rundown stable, pony farm, whatever, for horses. And like Sir Cecil the miser is like, let it run into the ground, didn't want to get it up and running. And so I find the lady that used to run the horse club when it was up and running, and she's too old to run it now. Was one of the ones slaving away in the house cleaning the 50 rooms. But I get her daughter, who's really into horses. I say, well, you take over the club. I'll give you whatever money you need. Get it up and running. Get the club up and going. Get people to bring their horses and do events and show horses and all that. And so they're building this railway track at the same time. And it's kind of the spooking the horses. So what I do is I build this like soundproof tunnel in between the horse, what do you call it? Training horse school, whatever it is, and the edge of the property. And so that eliminates the problem. So now you've got this part where the loco goes through this long tunnel and out the other side. So that adds to the tourist attraction. And of course, the backstory to that is I go to the local steam loco club and, say, hey, well, I want your railway lines to extend from your museum all the way around my property, and I'll pay you whatever you need for that. And so the loco club is running before I show up, it's running into the ground. They haven't got enough money to maintain the one loco that they've got. And so I give them $5 million and I get 50 million back, whatever. So he gets the club up and running, gets people enthusiasts from around the country to come and live in this local little town thing, and they get 2, 3 or 4 locos up and running with carriages and restore them back to primo, to brand new again, and they get all these spare parts from all over the world in and get them shipped over, and whatever they need, I give them the money for. And so there's now they can catch a train from the museum and go right round the property, and they can stop at the wharf, catch the boat, go up Ruapehu, come back the next day and go back to the museum, and they build a hotel next to the museum and a couple of hotels, and people stay there so that they can do the attractions and then move on to the next town or whatever they want to do after that. So it goes from this derelict castle thing to just being an amazing place where everybody can just come and have fun. And it's like, I know I've sold the 100 cars, but what I've done, and this is just for the staff itself, because I'm so afraid of this garage. It's so black inside, so dark inside, I'm scared to go in there. So I have these lights put in, and I have these walls, bright coloured walls put in, and then to make it even better, I have this indoor swimming pool built, and the light from the water shines on the roof, so it makes it brighter even more. And then I've got this massive, 3D picture theatre thing with surround sound system. The thing that Ryan wanted, ironic, isn't it? The thing that Ryan wanted, I've got that all going, but 10 times the size of what he was wanting. And so the staff, when they're not too busy, they just stick on a DVD and Dolby Digital surround sound 7.1, blah, 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 whatever. And the staff basically enjoy themselves. They're not worked hard. They're still paid decent wages. I give them trips overseas to pursue their hobbies. So, everything's cool there. If I want to, I just grab my guitar and entertain them in this movie studio and put on a bit of a show for them, and just do what I want to do. But my main job, part 2 then. So I've inherited 75 major companies, employ anything from 50 to 10,000 people. And I got 75 of these companies inherited. And I thought, what I want to do is I want to go out and I want to find people who are in need and help them financially with this magical bank account thing when I don't have time to run 75 companies. So what I do is I get the managers from one manager from each 75 of the 75 companies, and they come to a weekend thing, and I say, out of the 75 of you, there's going to be 4 that I choose, and all you're going to do, because I split the country, whatever the country is, whether it's the states or not, just split it into 4. So straight across and straight down. And I say, 4 of you are going to run 1/4 of this country. All the companies I own in each quarter of each country. So one of you is going to have 20, one of you is going to have 20, 20, 40, 60, and the other one's going to have 35. So if you can't handle that, or you think it's beyond you, and you don't want to live a single life where you're going to just be traveling around 20 companies over and over again, live in hotels, you know, have a meal tonight, watch the show, and then you can go home. But 4 of you are going to be paid $1 million a year to look after 20 odd companies. And so about 10 of them stay behind the next day, and so we do this rigorous program that somebody puts on, because I don't know what to do about that. And so we nail it down to 4. And right, okay, so the 4 of them report to me on a monthly basis with basically a list of what's going right, what's going wrong, a rundown list. And you know, I sort it out from there. But then I don't even have time for that because of what I want to do. So what happens is the 5th guy that applied for it comes back on the Monday and he says, well, I can kick ass over all 4 of those dudes. You know, I work harder than them. I can do a better job than them. Why didn't you give me one of the 4 jobs? And I say to him, well, do you see a problem with my plan? And I give him leading questions, and he figures out that, okay, the 4 needs to report to a 1. And I say, well, I'll give you $2 million a year if you be the 1, and all you do is sum up what they report to you and give me a really, really short list, and I'll give you the authority to do whatever it takes to get the company's issues sorted out. If issues arise, if maintenance needs doing on, whatever needs doing, you do, and just tell me at the end of the month what you've done. And if there's anything special, anything unique, then bring it to me. Otherwise, you take care of everything else. So basically, all the dude does is live in hotels and flies around. He also secretly looks at the companies like that manage undercover boss program. Yeah, so he's kind of looks at the companies personally, make sure everybody's happy in their job and not lacking. And if there's any lack, anybody needs a certificate, a degree, a diploma, whatever, and then I'll fund that personally out of my own pocket and sort that all out. So that's basically the main story about that. So there's a lot of spin-off stories come out about that. So let me think.